Good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here tonight. This is a regular meeting of the Allendale Land Use Board at which formal action will be taken on the items listed on the agenda and upon any other matters properly come before the end. Requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied through posting on the public bulletin board in the municipal building and on the borough website by publications in the record on December 9th, 2025, with copies being sent to the Ridgewood News and the Herald News. Certain agenda items will be open to the public for comment and or testimony, and the board will advise the public when such matters are open for their comment and or testimony. Okay, before we go any further, if we could all stand and salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Then let's do roll. Let's just do a roll call first, and then we'll do the oath, please.
Okay.
Okay.
Vice Chairman Dallo,
Here.
Board Member Rosala,
Here.
Councilman Yakarino,
Here.
Chairman Sirico,
Here.
Mayor Wasinski,
Here.
Board Member Butler,
Here.
alternate Ensenada.
Here.
Thank you.
We had the next on the agenda, which I just switched up, is the oath of office. Andrew's not here, so we're going to handle Tyler Yakarino. His term is expiring on December 31st, 2026. So there. It's so fine. Did you have the Bible?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. Now we can do it.
Want to do here?
We already did the thing on this here. Go ahead.
Left hand on the Bible, probably right. Thank you. I, repeat after me. I,
Yes.
Tyler Yakarino,
I, Tyler Yakarino,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same and to the governments established in the United States
to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly perform all duties of the Land Use Board member
Land Use Board
to
member,
the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So give a draft of the agenda.
Lord, he is trying to beat me to the punch.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barry.
No, this is for you, Linda.
Next time. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, we send it. And then we keep it in a copy in the computer. But we're going to go through the whole computer so you can see everything.
All right. Next on the agenda are the meetings of the February 11th, 2026, regular meeting. I reviewed them. Still think I has, but maybe I think I gave it to you.
Small change, I
Small
think.
change, okay. Anybody else have any comments on the meetings, please? Seeing none, can I have a motion to accept the minutes of the February 11th, 2026 regular meeting, please?
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Wait, who just said that?
Tyler, myself.
Tyler.
I don't think you were at the
But
last
he
one.
was on
I was on the Zoom.
the Zoom.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay.
He wasn't here, but he was on.
And the
was
second,
on the Zoom. Okay, do I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, sir.
Vice Chairman Dallo,
Yes.
Chairman Sirico,
Yes.
Mayor Wasinski,
Yes.
Board Member Butler,
Yes.
alternate Ensenada.
Yes.
Thank you. Next on our agenda are the three
Two votes, no.
resolutions, which I will pass. I'm supposed to take us through
Yeah.
all the three of them. The first one is the application file 2026-01, resolution 26-11, applicant Cedar Baldwin, 345 East Allendale Avenue, Allendale, New Jersey, 0741, block 702, lot 10. It was a minor subdivision.
Yeah. Yes, sir. This was a largely conforming minor subdivision where the residue land was going to be conserved and dedicated to the borough. It was landlocked. It's not to be developed. The applicant had really one issue that they needed on the record that we did capture in a resolution for their request, which was They did not want to move the house forward, which would have created a turnaround issue, and it would have been rear facing entry back to the street. They needed some language in the resolution relative to satisfy the DEP in that regard. It would have created relief, it would have created a hazardous position, so the board declined to accept that alternate plan, which did trigger variance relief. So by and large, we conform the subdivision really just to eliminate portions of land that are otherwise environmentally constrained and undevelopable as it is. And standard conditions and approvals for the most part. Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody have any questions, comments on the resolution? Okay, seeing none, I bring it back and I have a motion to accept, please.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Okay, thank you.
Vice Chairman Dallo,
Yes.
Councilman Yakarino,
Yes.
Chairman Sirico.
Yes.
Mayor Wasinski,
Yes.
Board Member Butler,
Yes.
alternate Ensign.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sure, just together?
Yeah.
Or-
I'll do both. I'll do it if you like.
All right, I'm gonna pull them both.
Yep.
up. So the next resolutions, there's two of them here. The first one is 26-12 for consistency review under ordinance numbers 26-04 and 26-05, as well as resolution number 26-13, which is the amendment to the House Element and Fair Share Plan. I again turn it over to council, please.
Thank you. So as to the consistency review, we consolidated the consistency review and determination of the board into a single resolution. A review of ordinances 2604 and 2605. The statute requires that when there's amendments to codes that relate to the land use element plan, that the planning board has to conduct a consistency review following the first reading of the governing bodies. It's actually required per state law before it can go back and revert to the governing body for a second reading for consideration of adoption or declination at that point. So Mr. Stichels presented a high level of the two ordinances that had gone through first reading at the governing body related to fourth round fair share obligations. To the planning board at the February meeting, the planning board considered Mr. Stichels' presentation. The board found that it was not inconsistent with the borough code, the master plan, long-range planning, the land use element, and the like, all applicable portions of land use that the planning board can legislatively review for consistency purposes. The recommendation was a finding of consistency. It then reverts back to the governing body who can take action thereafter at a second reading. And I believe already have by this date. Is that right? I think. Yeah. So that's done. So that was a consistency review. It's more of a courtesy review than anything else. The other matter, which was part of Mr. Stichels' larger presentation on notice, was the amendment to the housing element and fair share plan, which increased the density for a zone within the borough. Again, to satisfy fourth round affordable housing obligations that are ongoing. That was presented to the board. That was more than a consistency review. That required board action. The board heard the presentation of Mr. Stichels. There was no public inquiry or challenge to the amendment that was proposed, and the board acted to pass the amendment at the February public hearing.
Thank you. Okay, on what we just heard from council, is there any questions, comments? Okay, seeing none, I bring it back to the board. Can I have a motion? We're gonna vote on.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Can I have a motion, please, for these three? Or these two resolutions, I should say, to be accepted?
Make a motion.
Thank you.
Who was that?
Jason.
Thank you.
And then Greg on the second. Okay. And Linda, we're gonna vote on both of them together.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
Thank you.
Vice Chairman Dallo,
Yes.
Councilman Yakarino,
Yes.
Chairman Sirico.
Yes.
Mayor Wasinski,
Yes.
Board Member Butler,
Yes.
Mr. Ensign, alternate Ensign.
So. Now we get into the public hearings part of our meetings. There were two applications on for tonight. Second one, which is 2026-05. The applicant had requested to be heard on 4/22 in our April meeting. They will go through a renotice. Okay, so that's required. Okay, so the next thing on our agenda is application file number 2026-03. Roger, and I apologize if I mispronounced it, but I'm going to try. Schlick.
That's it.
Thank you. 58 Midwood Avenue, Allendale, New Jersey, 07401, block 2005, lot 9. The application is to construct a second floor addition on top of an existing first floor with a new portico pursuant to 270-14A, 270-57B, 270-57D, 270-57E1, 270-57F, 270-64C2, 270-63A1, 270-63B, 270-57C, 270-63A-1, 270-64C2, and 270-57C. I'm up here a long time. I've never had that many.
Let's see.
God bless you. And this is carried from the public hearing of February 11th, 2026. And I also want to express my, I guess, apologies and thanks for you coming here because we had some scheduling and the last couple of times you had ones that went a little bit later. So thank you for bearing with us.
It was
Coming in today. So I'm sorry.
It was interesting hearing the policy.
Yeah, to say the least. So, council, you would do the thing.
Yes, sir. Please raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm testimony you're about to provide with the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Please state your name for the record, spell your last name, and provide an address.
Peter Schlick, SCHLICHT, 58 Midwood Avenue, New Jersey.
And you're testifying tonight in your capacity as the property owner and applicant, but also as a licensed architect, is that right?
Yes, this is my residence. I am the architect. Right.
So to qualify you, can you just please give us the benefit of your background credentials and licensing that's current in the state of New Jersey, and then the board can accept your qualifications. You'll be effectively the applicant and the expert witness.
I've been practicing architecture for 43 years. I've testified in front of the board, this board, a few times. I've testified in front of many Board of Adjustment hearings throughout Bergen County. My license is active. I'm slowing down my firm, so it's mainly residential additions and alterations, which is the thrust of the project tonight. And this is my house. I am the architect's father.
Whole thing rolled in together, right?
I lived in Ridgewood for about 30 years, but I passed away last year. And so we sold the house because the kids didn't really want to be there. They're adults, but the thought is for me to create a home that they can come to for a new chapter. And eventually my daughter, Amy, has the intentions of moving into this house after I retire in a few years. Raising kids, she's getting married, so that's the basis.
Thank you, Phil. So, yeah.
You know the deal, Mr. Schlick, as a witness. If anything you're showing us that is mocked up or changed from what's on file, just call it out and we'll mark it as an exhibit as we go.
Yeah, two things.
Okay.
Um,
I'm gonna let you tell us what you want to do. I mean, you've been before the board before, you know how we do this, so. Go
I
ahead.
just had a question though. Do I actually need variances for the undersized lot and the narrow lot? You need to obtain variances for those. I know they were listed on the notes, but
So those are pre-existing conditions, right? And there's two schools of thought. And any given night of the week, when I'm on your side of the table, it really varies how boards consider that or not. I wish our planner was here, because Mr. Sykes would certainly have a planning opinion on it. My thought legally is, I can certainly give you argued both ways. You've got pre-existing conditions, and then it's a question of, are you exacerbating them? I think with a floor area ratio variance, probably you're not technically exacerbating the undersized lot by making it smaller, but are you now intensifying the use on an undersized lot? It comes into play. The same thing with the lot width or things like that. But at the end of the day, you've got D relief. For the most part, use relief, the case law is clear, it subsumes the bulk relief within the use relief. Now, that's for a standard D1 type relief, that it's subsumed within there, because there are no bulk standards when you have a prohibited use that you're proposing. You're proposing a condition for use and a structure that's otherwise permitted, notwithstanding the fact that you need FAR relief. If you meet the FAR proofs, in my opinion, from a planning perspective, Coventry Square standards, the Randolph case standard, if you meet those, I think arguably you've met the bulk standards relative to the C1 and C2 criteria. So it's a little gray. And like I said, some towns will take a very firm position. It is relief. Others will say it's not, and some will say it's up to you, how you want to prosecute it. I would not neglect to discuss how those are not impacted conditions and how they can carry forward without further, further impact. But those are not that's not the lion's share of what you're here for, as I see it. If that helps you.
So it is yes.
It's any given day of the week, it's a maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
That's right. Linda, we went over this, because there's D relief, we've got classes of membership of the board that cannot sit on this case because this is a ZBA case.
Right,
So those members, it includes the mayor, it includes Tyler, are not eligible to hear this case, deliberate or vote on it because of the fact that there's use variance relief. This is a ZBA case.
right.
Okay, so,
Oh, we're not even allowed to hear it. We can't be here to listen.
You could stay,
Oh.
but deliberation is really limited. And
Yeah.
you're gonna go?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, he's gonna go. Sir, are you
I'm
you
gonna
okay
step
with the
silent
mayor,
before I'm
with the
drinking
mayor
coffee.
staying here
They
right now?
can't vote.
Sitting, you're okay with the mayor staying here right now?
How many members are
I can't
There
vote.
will be,
But everybody else,
will be fine.
but you always have to take care of it.
That's enough.
By time.
Yeah. Force quorums to do. This is a ZBA 5 is a minimum to
Thank
vote,
God.
but you need to carry the table. That's right. You need 5 minimum votes on that FAR relief.
So
So
the absent members would have been able to vote on this.
Is Andy eligible?
yeah, you would have been eligible.
Right.
Andy,
Frank.
Frank, and
Charlie?
Charlie,
Jess?
Jess.
very good.
So 7's a full board for you. 5 is the minimum if you want to push to a vote. You can always prosecute tonight.
Yeah.
If you don't like the way the wind is blowing, you can always
Yeah,
ask to
yeah.
carry, come back and ask that the board members are,
Sure.
missing, listen to the proceeding and certify to that. Then you've got 7 eligible members potentially, but
Do they listen to the tapes?
Oh,
will listen to
they will
the
listen to the tapes.
Okay. No, I'd like to take advantage of the empty room
yeah,
and present them.
Uh,
And we see your comments and
Okay,
go from there.
okay. So I'm just gonna turn it over to you. Tell us what you're doing. Tell us what you want to do. And we'll go through all the aspects of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna walk you through the pre-existing zoning conditions of the property. Then I'm gonna walk you through the proposed architectural improvements. Then I'll go through each variance one by one.
Okay.
It's 58 Maywood Ave. It's an A residential zone. Existing is a single family house, 1.5 story with a detached garage. The garage is like an L shape. The carport is here. There's a little bit of like a half a bay storage. And this used to be a screen porch, and I have some photos of what this screen porch looked like when I purchased the house. And I opened it up, created an open porch, which reduced the the FAR. The lot area is 9,000 square feet, while 20,000 square feet is required, so it's 55% deficient. So it's significantly deficient. The lot width is 75 feet, while 115 is required average, so I'm 40-foot deficient in width. I'd also like to point out that the variances are very de minimis. It's basically on this side, on the right side here, it's setback. This is actually an enhanced setback here. The lot depth is supposed to be 174 feet. To get to the 20,000 square foot, it's 120 feet, so it's 54 feet short in depth. The house itself is set back properly. There is a set of steps that come out the front of the house. I'll show you that in a minute. That has a setback of 32.7, while 35 feet is required. Presently, the building coverage of the house, the steps, and the porch and the garage is at 18.7, while 15% is allowed. So we're over presently as existing condition of 3.7%. Then the distance between this L-shaped accessory structure and the existing house is at 7.7 feet, while 10 feet is required. So that's a pre-existing condition distance between the house and the garage. So the property has pre-existing hardships in regards to lot size, lot depth, lot width, lot area and the existing structure distances between the two principal and accessory structures. There are pictures we had distributed. With these stamps, you get to tell you this. Today, the house is primarily a one-story structure. It has a living TV room, a dining room, a galley kitchen, 2 small bedrooms and a bathroom. I do not want to expand the footprint of the first floor. I want to work within the footprint of the first floor. I'm just going to recycle the space. I'll show you that in a minute. The second floor is very challenging. You come up the stairs and you walk down this hallway with sloping ceilings. There's only about 220 square feet of usable area that you can stand up in. But there's really, you can't even put furniture here. So it's just this wasted space here. The bed is in here where you can't even have a headboard. And the bathroom is at the end. And the toilet and the shower are actually in the slope of the structure itself. Where I hit my head every day, I brush my teeth. So the second floor is pretty unusable. It's not something you can buy minimally. It's more of a
Excuse me, sir, a moment. Linda, are you picking all this up? Okay, all right, so I'm sorry.
Hi, you see those pictures? Give them on the screen.
I don't have a.
Oh, it is? Oh, I didn't see it. Okay.
So the proposed first floor. It's the first floor. As I just said, I want to stay within the footprint. The improvements would be to remove the steps, the landing and the steps that are actually closer to Midwood than what I'm proposing. And take this natural indent in the house and create a little porch. I want to move the front door from here to here. So it had a little bit of a curb appeal, a little porch, 4 columns, front door. It fits nicely right into that corner. And I'll get through the variances in a minute, but the only part of this proposed improvements on the second floor and the first floor that need a variance is the first step of these steps. It's the first 8-inch step, that's it. Otherwise, we're compliant. I want to recycle the first floor. There's a powder room, mudroom, kitchen, family room, dining room. And then I was proposing a fireplace, like a prefab fireplace that would extend out. This needs a variance, and I'll go through that in a minute. Extended fireplace. The second floor would be an attic level. That cape would be, the roof would be removed. And what we're proposing is an attic level, basically. New floor joists, new 8-foot walls, and a new roof system. I'll show you in a minute. So I'm just proposing a stair going up the center, very traditional. A primary suite here, modest rooms, bedroom, 2 very small closets, like L-shaped closets, a 4-fixture bathroom, and then a hall bathroom, which is small vanity toilet tub, and 3 bedrooms. They're only like 10.5 feet, 10.5 feet deep. Ideally, you want a 12-foot bedroom for the length of the bed, an aisle, and like a dressing room. So these are very modest, tight little rooms. So the whole second floor would be constructed.
And the restriction on the size of that is because we're not changing the footprint of the house.
Or not changing the
adds
footprint of the first.
Of the first floor, yeah.
So the elevations would be, this would be the front elevation. This is the front porch with 4 columns, the offset door, little gable. This is basically in that recess of the first floor. exterior wall. This is what is now my daughter's bedroom, and the front door is here. So this would be a dining room. And in the back, it would be an exit to the backyard, some windows in the family room, the kitchen sink. And then this is the dining room, the family room, and this is the bathroom, and then the everyday mudroom door. The second floor, I introduced this low roof. It goes all the way around the house just to break down the height. It ties into the porch, ties into this little roof over the mudroom door, and it ties into this little gable roof in the back. So that kind of breaks down the height. The proposed height of the house is 5 feet lower than it's allowed. It's 30 foot. You're allowed 35 feet. So we're not asking for a height variance. The second floor would be a series of gable roofs. The primary one that goes side to side, then these accent roofs that light up with windows. Just repeat like an architectural form on the side and on the rear. It's going to be proposed to be like a gray cedar shake, like a new cedar, like a pine cedar, white double hung windows, kind of an Nantucket. No black windows, white windows, maybe some shutters. I think I have some shutters in the front. So very classic residential plumbing home. The garage. And these now.
These new documents,
Yes, this is a photograph.
one page,
Yes,
and so I'll mark that as A1 if you can just describe it. Please.
sure. This photograph taken last year, since it's how I purchased the home, it had a screen porch. Not even screen, it would have solid walls and then screens above, with a roof that came off the garage. So what I did was just took out all the walls in 2 columns and opened it up. So you can see how it really cuts off back of the half of the back of the house. Now you can see the whole back of the house because now it's open. So I think it helps with that undersized distance between the house and the garage by opening it up. I saved the roof. This would all be re-sided, be shingled to match the house. But I just wanted to show what we did with the garage.
Excuse me, is there a date on the photo?
Yeah.
Okay. Then 25?
This was 2025 and this was 2026.
Okay.
You said both the garage and open porch will match the house, but
Yeah, roof shingles, gutters, siding. So I'll go through variances one by one. First, well, I'll go through these and we'll talk about the water and the. First, the front yard setback to the steps. That's that porch step. It's literally the first step, so it'd be 8 inches off the ground, and it's like 5 feet wide. Presently, the steps are closer to the street. They're 32.7 feet to the first step. What I'm proposing is 34 feet, so I'm only a foot into the front yard setback. Step, no rounds, tread. So I reduce the pre-existing non-conforming condition, and I really don't see any negative impact that would be caused by one step being too close to the street. I think the porch has a lot of curb appeal, a lot of architectural interest in the house. That's variance number 1. Variance number 2 are the side yard setback on the right-hand side. The left-hand side, just for record, it's 23.4, so it has an enhanced side yard setback on the left. On the right, the existing house is at 15 feet. The requirement is 15.4 feet, so we're 5 inches closer to the neighbor than we're supposed to be, 5 inches. So. And then the fireplace, the chimney itself is 13 feet, so that's 2 feet 5 inches into the side yard setback, but that's just a 6 foot by 2 foot rectangle that looks like a traditional chimney coming off the side. Second floor, I'm proposing to stack on the, the second floor is proposing to stack on the first floor. So it's a continuation of that wall. If you feel that the 5 inches is unacceptable, I could kick it in and I could be conforming, but I think it's gonna look a little odd. If it's 5 inches, it's gonna look like a mistake. It's 2 feet, maybe, but 5 inches. It's gonna look a little bit skewed.
You have a measurement to the adjacent house on the right hand side.
Yeah, I have pictures of it. I would say.
Sure.
Part of the pictures of the bottom pictures is. So. So that house is basically a solid wall. There's no windows on that side. Last spring. I just redid the whole, it was pretty overgrown when I bought the house. I put in probably 100 species of arborvitaes, trees, boxwoods, the irrigation, landscaping. Opened up that porch to the patio. So I planted like 7 arborvitaes on that property line. So that's gonna be a green wall that will buffer 5-inch encroachment. And in his property, as I said, is a dead wall with air conditioning units, so he's not really using that space.
Is there a distance though?
It's about 15 feet
15 feet to from your house?
to the property line, and then 15 feet to
Oh,
his.
it's 15 foot, so got it.
They're looking at about 20 to 30 feet.
30 feet, yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
It's not a very active yard, that side, it doesn't even use. I actually planted the bushes too, because I got tired of looking at this blank, huge blank wall. Enough stories, of brown shingles. So I don't think there's any negative impact. Plus, the evergreens are planted, that's some buffering. If the board feels you want me to kick it in, I'll be glad to kick it in, and I would need a variance. The board feels that the chimney is too much of an encroachment, I can kick that into whatever you feel is appropriate. That's the second variance. Third is a rear yard setback. Again, the house itself, the proposed house is compliant. It's just these 3 steps. So I have a code compliant landing out of the kitchen and then a few steps through which are 46.9 feet versus 50 feet. So it's literally 3 treads of a stair that has no railing. A piece of bluestone. 24 inches tall. Otherwise, the whole house, this is compliant, the house is compliant here, the house is compliant here. It's 5 inches to the right, encroaching, and then the chimney. So the house itself, I feel, is pretty well positioned. With only the right side variance. So that's the third variance. The fourth is the distance between the house and the L-shaped accessory structure. It would be with that step, that open step on an angle to the corner of that open porch that I just showed you, handed out pictures. I think I did, yeah, I did. It's 2.9 feet. So from that open tread, the last tread to that column is 2.9 feet, but it's very open since I opened up the street porch. And then from the back of the second floor to the 1-story roof of the porch is 5.75 feet. So the distance here is 5.75 feet. I think the garage was built probably without a permit 50 or 60 years ago. It looked that way. And built that way. That's how I bought the property. So it's kind of a pre-existing non-conforming condition that I hopefully improve by opening up the porch. And the distances, I don't think anybody's gonna see that. It's not gonna look different than what it is today, because it's in the backyard. So think it has any negative impact to the streetscape or the surrounding properties. Fifth variance is building coverage. 20.8% versus 15%. So we're over by 523 square feet. Compliance. As I said before, the lot is 55% deficient in area. The 20.8 represents 39% over the allowed, so it's less than if it was a compliant lot. A lot of that is driven by this oversized garage. This L shape, that's really just storage. Car really goes in here. This garage and porch represents 577 square feet. So the house itself is compliant, but when you add in this oversized garage, the porch that was there, it creates a variance. The other thing that I did that increases the building coverage is the little front porch, but I think there's a benefit to streetscape, curb appeal of the porch versus a portico. But if you feel that it needs to be reduced, I could reduce this to a portico, but it just seemed like it lent itself to a little porch stuck in the corner, placed in the corner of the existing house. If the lot was a proper size, the building coverage, including the oversized garage and the both addition, would be 9.4%. So what we're dealing with is a C1A hardship with an undersized lot. That would be our hardship for that variance. The sixth variance is the gross building area, 28.6 versus 25%. So we're over by 324 square feet. Again, this garage is 405 square feet. Typical one bay garage is 264 square feet, 12 feet by 22 feet. So there's 150 square feet of extra space that, if I built this, I wouldn't build it, but this is there, so I have to include it in the calculation. But 75% of this variance is due to the size of the garage, of the oversized garage. As I mentioned with the second floor, these are fairly modest rooms, 10'6" is a very big bedroom. And I'm not increasing the footprint of the first floor, recycling all the space. If you were to calculate the GVA over the compliant lot, calculate it over the compliant lot, you'd be 12.9% versus 25%. So again, it's a C1A hardship due to the undersized lot. If you looked at the house itself and just disregarded the garage, the proposed house, first, second floor, would be at 24.1%, which is below the 25%. So the house itself is not too tall, basically conforming to all setbacks. And the GVA would be below 25% if you just looked at the house itself. Those are the six that we're addressing. But to go through the summary, we could talk about the last two, the lot width, I guess, and the lot area.
Can I ask a quick question, but this that you passed out? Is that what you're doing is you're proposing elimination of essentially a screened in porch and front of the portico? So kind of
That work is complete.
this work already is complete.
Yes, I did that last year with the building permit.
Yeah,
So this is not
before, it's like the before and after, I'm saying.
Yeah, this is after.
Yeah,
So you already did this work.
yeah.
Yeah,
So did you subtract out? Not sure.
I left the building coverage in because there's a roof. But I
Okay,
subtracted out the GBA or FAR because it's open.
perfect.
So
Okay.
that reduced it by 172 square feet.
You didn't do this while we were sitting here. No, did you?
No. I'll go through some of the hardships. So the front yard setback, side yard setback, and the rear yard setback would be a C1A hardship due to the existing lot narrowness, due to the right side yard setback, and the shallowness of the deficient lot depth, which would be the front yard setback and the rear yard setback. If the lot was a proper size, we wouldn't need these variances, so it's a pre-existing conforming lot position. The third and fourth, the fourth variance, the distance to the garage is also is a C1C hardship, unique to this property with a lawfully existing structure, both the garage and the house, pre-existing, with non-conforming distance. And as I said before, I think there's no negative impact. It's pretty much behind the house. I don't think anyone's going to see it. And opening up the porch, I think, helps. The building coverage in the FAR is again a C1A hardship due to the existing undersized lot. If the lot was a proper size, we would be at a building coverage of 5.4 and a GBA of 12.9. Just want to show you the houses in eye shot of mine.
I'd like to mark this as well, Mr. Schlegel.
I have copies for you.
This is a photo board. A2 will be a photo board of photos taken by you in the last few months. Like winter photos.
January.
Series of 4, 7, 9 photos, I think, right?
Yes, drawing sheet 5, dated
Okay.
February 11th, 2026.
And while that's being passed on, just one thing to clarify for the record. I don't disagree with, a decent part of your planning analysis so far, and you're not a licensed planner, right? Just now. Okay. I don't disagree that the C1 argument applies, but calling something a pre-existing conditions in lay terms means one thing, in a land use form means another thing. Unless the suggestion is that these conditions predate the enactment of the code, which set forth those bulk standards, they're not technically pre-existing conditions. That really doesn't change much about your argument, but just for the sake of the record, pre-existing condition is one that it either predates the code or it doesn't. If the position is not that this predates the enactment of the zoning code of Zone A that established the minimum lot area, lot width requirements, they're not exactly pre-existing conditions. They predate you, certainly. And they're on the site when you acquired it, but a pre-existing condition means something else as far as the land use parlance goes with various grants, just for the record.
What year?
I don't know. It's the applicant's job to let us know that if you're gonna argue pre-existing conditions. Whatever. Zoning was enacted in 1938, I think, in the state of New Jersey, codified to 41 by the MLUL. And then from there you go forward with zone enactments. I don't know when zone A was created. But you would also need evidence that these were actually conditions that predated it anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So just predating you is not gonna be enough, but that's really just,
I don't think the guy pulled a permit.
for the record's sake, yeah.
Garage because it's built. These are just a series of house photos that are within eye shot of my house. What I'm trying to present is that I feel what I'm presenting falls into the scale, architectural language. And you can see, I'll point out certain things that exist in other homes that I'm proposing in mine. I think it will fit well in the neighborhood. The front porch, adding curb appeal, is very similar to some of the other homes. And this house is on the same width lot that I have. You can see that it mimics. This is a 75-foot lot too. This is right down, a couple doors down. This is on a 65-foot lot. It's 2-story. Doesn't have a porch, but it has open steps. Actually, it has 2.5 stories. This is also down, a couple doors down the street from me. And this one is a 75-foot lot. So you can see how architecturally a 2-story house with some gables and kind of architectural features with a main gable roof exists. So my proposal would be very similar and fitted, I believe, of Bidwood and Homewood. This is actually a quarter lot, but 75 feet, which is this garage almost on the property line, it's like 3 feet off the property line, and this is the street. To me, has a porch and 2.5, or 2-story structure with the gable roofs. So I tried to kind of, I didn't want to match any of these, but I tried to pick and choose. And, you know, fit into the scale and the height and the architectural features neighborhood. Which I think goes to positive criteria. It's a permitted use, residential, single family. I'm maintaining existing first floor, which is a positive element of the project. I can leave the porch is improving the streetscape. There are porches, not as many, but there are streets down the street, diagonally across the street. This is diagonal, this is diagonal. There's a house across the street that has a porch. All the setbacks are conforming. Inches that we talked about, and the height of the house, 5 feet less than allowed. So I feel the negative impact is much less, if any, than the positive impact of proposing. Square footage wise. Houses exist. I talked to the tax assessor, and I got like an analysis of the homes that were within. I shot at my house. They range from 2,500 at the high end to like 1,600, 1,800. So right in the middle, a little bit above. I'm not the biggest house right now, the smallest house, but this would not be the biggest house. There are other houses directly across the street. This one's almost 2,400 square feet. So the size of the house I feel would be appropriate and fits in the streetscape as well. But try to balance out not with the architectural features, but the size of it as well. We'll have to answer any questions.
Thank you. As we do, we start to just ask questions and look at other variants, other ways to do it. And one of the first things that came to my mind was, you know, to eliminate one of the variances is, did you look at pushing the proposed new front steps into, you know, still have the same design, but instead of having what I believe is, I'm looking at the plans, the steps start at the edge of the porch, then go down. What if you were to push that last step into the porch?
Yeah, I could push it back, but it would make no variance.
I'm not saying you have to, but you could do it. Okay.
The whole architectural idea was to have that column there,
Uh-huh.
so it's kind of balanced. So I just left room for the column versus jamming it up against the house.
Okay.
So I thought one step was fairly de minimis, and it's an improvement to what's there now. Right now,
And existing you're at 37, you said right now. So
37.
you're pushing it back already.
yeah. But I'd be glad to move this back. I had a little bit of room. The porch is 5 feet. 5 feet 8. So I could push it back, but if you wish. Or I could indent one step right here into the porch.
Yeah, that's,
So one sticks out, then you step in.
that's, you know, that could be a variable. If the board, you know, wants to talk about that. Second thing. I mean, the distance to the garage and all of that, it's all existing, you know, it's all existing, and you're not making it any more.
I guess the stair coming off the back, where now it's a 2.9 foot distance to the corner of the open porch. Is there, and this is better quick, but is there like any sort of distance that's required for fire safety or anything in case someone needs to come out of the back of the house? Can they turn?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not.
Because it's 3 feet, right? 2 point, and then the rest of it is nearly 6 feet. So you're kind of shrinking that turn by half. You know, so I don't know, is there any complications since you're kind of taking 50% of the turning radius out?
So like I have to have a 3 foot landing and then 2 treads. It is the width of a slider. It looks good when it matches the slider, but I only really need a stair. I could put the stair here. And have the slider, you know, the fixed part, not have a step. Opposite part have a step, you know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So then it would pull it away from that column. But you can actually, right where that column is that you're speaking of. Yeah, I
yeah,
could-
because my point is, someone goes down those 3 stairs out of the back of the house, I don't know, and it seems like they would smack right into that column.
yeah, so you need. I would only, 3 feet is what's required by code for
Okay.
egress.
Okay.
I could make it 3 feet, sure. I could make it more than 3 feet if you want. The landing, I can't make less than 3 feet. It's good.
Yep.
And if you had a problem with the right side, I could get this in, but I think it might look a little odd.
Now, before we go, you know, further with our questions, perhaps. Definitely agree with that.
So we visited the site, do the application, generated a. Six, I think a lot of the, a lot of the stuff that was in the first several pages has been done by testimony. I just want to take a minute, maybe to skip the section 4, maybe that's more. I heard testimony from the applicant. Regarding the use of the addition and building finishes, color and materials. He'd asked if it was gonna be, any exterior lighting, or if we can hear what kind of plans you have for exterior lighting. kind of-
I would just do wall sconces at each door which is required. Just your residential sconce, similar to what's. Maybe not that style. But just traditional residential sconce. I wouldn't do. I have a spotlight in the backyards. The AC unit is. Over on the. On the right hand side, there's one there, so I'd probably put the other one. What's the setback for AC? 10 feet?
That is,
It'll be 10 feet plus. But no basketball lighting or outdoor lighting.
is there an existing light in the rear yard now?
Spotlight, yeah. Let's see it on this picture right here, it's spotlight.
It's at the corner of the building, correct? And your plan is to have similar.
Just one spotlight, so when they go out the back. I can keep an eye.
Given the roof, we were asking about discharge locations, whether they currently exist, if any of those locations have been altered.
Yeah, they would be altered. It's very similar locations. You want me to put a pit in, I can put some of them.
Yeah, that would be the follow-up question. Please recommend, particularly in this neighborhood, we had, smaller lots. A little bit closer to the neighbors, but sometimes still over the neighbors. I need to address.
Yeah, we could go up to pits in.
Again, when we look at these applications that make substantial improvements to the property, we recommend a facility connection. That's sanitary service, BTV inspected, make sure that's good shape. And if there's any issues that need to be addressed with the building with regard to the material of the notices. And 4.6, 4.7. General note that soil roots and full cover implemented during which production. 4.8, and add building. Would be application.
So we're fine.
Budget.
The electrical service will be raised. But it'll be raised. Second floor.
They'll have two fireplaces.
No, the first will be removed, the existing one. will
The
be-
existing one on the left hand side. Will be- That's the one. That will go into that. On the right hand side.
Yes. The existing ones. Functional.
The lighting, you propose to put any lighting in the porch, that's fine, up down there, on the ceiling side.
I could either do like sconce or downlight. Or downlight. You know, see the picture, but it's just kind of closed.
Yeah.
It's nice. Either one, I don't know.
Either one, you're
Either. You have a preference?
doesn't spill. We're always worried about spill.
I'm not doing any lighting out here.
Okay.
By code, I need so many thick candles at an egress, so it'd be nice just to turn the whole wall sconce. Up here.
It's already, the yard is already fenced in, that'll.
Yeah.
Bring the replace. Or necessary.
It's gonna stay, it's all brand new fence. Sprinkler system. Irrigation.
So you really don't want to tear it down, right? Yeah. They're just- Okay. Board, I open it back up to you. Questions?
Are you removing the tree that's in front? I mean, on Google Street Maps, I see a tree that's pretty close to the home where you would be putting the porch. Would you be removing that or is it already gone?
Oh, that's forward, that would stay,
That would stack.
it's forward of the porch,
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
and then we planted one, the anchor's performance. The tree you're talking
Yeah.
of, that's forward, and they planted, you can't see in this photo, but we planted, another one to kind of anchor the house, existing tree, new tree. Forget what kind of tree that is. Yeah, we did foundation plantings and then all along the edge, the arborvitae, our boxwoods, and we did some trees in the back. The back has a beautiful old stone wall. It's like an Irish wall we lit. Nothing like doing it once in place.
Trees on the right hand side, did you plan them bigger of the length or the width, the depth of the proper of the house?
From the front of the house, you know, always back to the back one.
Oh, okay.
There's 7 side of the house, and there's a big. Like 13. Buffer, Mike next door to them.
Back to create a wall, 5 meters still.
In the back, we did. So a little bit higher, so you can see that stone wall, and do little box edges and like going to. Some. Didn't want to hide the wall. And on the other side, like, some wallabies, which are arborvitaes, green giants. And then our neighbor has lilac that we, cut. So, great, thank you. Everybody knows the landscaping.
Watch out for the deers.
Oh, they were there this morning.
And I guess despite building a second level, you're still not raising the height of the current of the current structure. So I guess if you're gonna build all these rooms and have these windows, there's no privacy infringement, is there, from your neighbors that are on either side of you? This is
No.
the same, you're actually, the roof line's actually lower
Then my neighbors,
than what it currently is. I think you said you had room, but it's not, you're still gonna be below what's allowed when you're building up.
the existing house isn't 35 feet. You're allowed 35 by code.
Right.
I'm at 30. The existing is,
Oh, so you are going up, okay.
21.
Yeah, it's a kid, it's a 1.5 story kid.
Okay,
It's not really a kid, it's really an attic.
Right.
I can walk down to my bed and get there.
So now that you have that much more height, I guess is there any sort of visibility or privacy, I guess, compromises now that there's more glass and more room up there to see you or for you to see your neighbors?
Well, like, one photo I have, sorry, I only have one, the neighbor to my right has no window.
Right, so he's blocked off. Right,
He has no windows to look.
right,
at.
out of,
And to my left, she has 2 bedrooms with like small hopper windows.
okay,
And then she has space, then there's that garage and my driveway,
okay,
and then I'm 23 feet off of her.
off of hers, okay.
So
And then you've got the garage also in
it's
between.
one story. There's a lot of space there.
Because that's where the master will be now, relative to the hallway or whatever it is
Yeah.
now. Okay, that's this way, right?
Yeah,
It's gonna go this way. Okay,
The attic, you're not really gonna stand up, and have to pick.
yeah,
The shingles. Didn't want to go 35 feet. It's not a very big house. I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Down.
I guess if I had one, I think that this is helpful. The council and I were just going through the houses in the pictures of, there's only really 3 on your lot. And on your side of the street. We do find structure on the side of the street.
They're huge. Across the street, there's. One of those colonials that have like 8 double windows up top, porch and garage. And then next to them is another kind of 80s. Long colonial and has like 5 double windows. There's 2 really large houses. It just didn't. My house is a lot narrower. So I didn't have pictures of those going. They're bigger. Actually. $63 million is 63 and 53 million right pressure for me, and those are long. Definitely not gonna be the biggest house. I shot at mine. I don't know if you guys are looking at cruising.
I mean, personally, when I look at your design. And I look at what you're doing, you're not increasing footprint. That,
This is the porch.
just the porch, just the porch. I think, all right, so you're a foot over or a foot under. with the steps that I require, I talked about, but I would go, I personally would go crazy, unless the board members feel different, I wouldn't go crazy. Asking you to push that back. So just questions that we ask, thinking you've been before the building, stuff that you've heard, if you have questions, tell me.
I don't think it's a bad modification, to anything that we're talking about, so it's not like problems, like tripping or nothing like that, so it's really, if you feel that you need to do that, with the back steps and front steps.
The back step situation, again, that would only be a safety thing. I mean, that's, as far as the questions that I posed to you on the front, that was just, I'd be open to things. I don't necessarily, I'd rather have you pull on that particular variance, give you that. Because you're already better than where you are right now, 36.7.
It's literally just the first step.
Yeah. Yeah.
From that point on, the whole house properly said that.
Board members, I have to open this up to the public, so before I do that, I mean, over here, before I open it up, is there any other discussion or questions?
Yes, I think there's 6 or 7 proposed variances.
I didn't,
And I guess I'm just trying to think, like, if you total up all of the feet and inches you're asking for, I guess, do you have the total number?
Here, I've got
Yeah,
12.
on one, what the 5 inches on this side,
Oh.
plus what you need for the fireplace, the foot for this, I guess I'm just trying to, it's a lot of pieces, so I'm just
Yeah.
trying to get a better concept for like what the totality is of the variance that you're asking for as a package relative to the house. It's just might be an easier way for me to think about it.
I mean, I don't disregard these, but, the step variances and the 5 inches. And I don't think anybody's gonna notice if the wall's here or here, and the step is literally down by your ankle.
Right.
On the front, the back, I agree, you can make it more clearance. So those are 3 variances that are so de minimis.
Right.
That if we, if we did the things just to get rid of those variances, I think it would look awkward outside of the house. or
Right.
the front of the house.
Right.
So, it's this much, it's not 2 feet
Right.
into the side yard. So I know there's a lot of variances, but if you take those 3 and look at the extent of each one, they're very de minimis, but they are variances. The fireplace is the full chimney. A lot of towns allow for encroachments. They allow chimneys to go over the side yard setback. They allow steps to go over the front yard setback. It's not true with Allendale, but if you want me to push the chimney in, I can push the chimney in some too. But these are all like literally, less than half my arm length. So those 4 are 4 variances. And it looks really like a long list of variances, but if you look at each one, it's very de minimis. The distance to the garage, somebody built the garage. I don't think they ever got a permit. That's what I'm living with. And then the size is basically an extension of the first floor on the sides and then the front porch, which I think adds character to the house. So I thought it was worth building the porch. I'm never probably gonna sit out there. It's not looking. It costs a lot of money. But,
The bear's gonna come over.
Yeah.
So I felt like each one had value to the streetscape, whatever it was. I think it's fitting in from there with the porches and the roof lines. These are houses that look like what I'm proposing. There are other houses that are a lot bigger. But I didn't want to make my first floor very, I'm just gonna stay in that. So I understand there's a lot of variances, but if you look at each one,
I guess what I think about is sort of the precedent that while individually it's not a lot, but could someone down the road say, it all added up to this amount, and that amount you put through prior, like, I'm thinking of it as a total amount of variances granted versus individual. I don't know if that's the wrong way to look at it, that's what I'm thinking
No,
about.
I'm gonna try real quick,
Yeah.
that you're on the right track, and I'm gonna, this is for the sake of the board, but Mr. Slick, but by all means, I think you should hear this too. Is quantitative variance relief, it is not necessarily a problem in and of itself, the quantity of the variances. I think it's the qualitativeness of the variances. So I think I don't get a vote. I happen to be in relative agreement with you that they are de minimis, some of those items. And checking them off the list might make your list go from 9 to 6. I don't know if that really changes much about the equation. I think the bigger variance you have remains the D4. Mike Vreeland in his report, he did provide the statutory criteria for that in the coverage report. I think he laid it out as to what you have to establish. And it's really a matter of, can the site still accommodate what you want to build, notwithstanding the shortcoming of not complying with the FAR? It's similar to the D3 conditional use variance case, right? And I think what the chairman was pointing out was 5 of the 9 lots you cited in your area inventory are lots that are at least 3,000 square feet larger than yours. They're at least 100 by 120, several of them. A few we can't even tell because they're off the radius list map. One we can assume is a lot that's even larger than that in the corner of Midwood there. But at any rate, I think that's the bigger issue that the board needs to focus on, is whether or not the D4 variance is satisfied, because that is the heavier lift. That's what brings Mr. Schlick to the Board of Adjustment, requiring a supermajority vote to be approved. And that is the heightened standard of scrutiny that needs to be met here, not like a D1 use variance relief of a prohibited use. We don't need to meet a site suitability test. It's a permitted type of structure, but it's larger than is allowed. So can it accommodate the shortcomings? And I think that includes an analysis, and I'm going to defer to Mike on this, but are you compromising light, air, and open space? Are we able to properly manage stormwater controls on this property that's being overdeveloped now? Are we incongruent with the streetscape of lots around us? I think that's what Mr. Schlick attempted to do with that exhibit. But again, I point out that 5 of those lots at least are lots that I don't think are similar to yours when we're talking about lot area. Because on the one hand, the argument is my shortcoming is I have a deficient lot area. So that's why a lot of this relief is packaged in here, because I'm working with an undersized lot. And on the other hand, citing to the congruence of the streetscape is citing to lots that might be undersized, but are significantly larger than this one. So that's where I see personally a disconnect on the planning argument of the D4. I'm past the bulk relief. I think that's the smaller potatoes. It needs to be satisfied. But I think the board's focus really needs to remain on the D4 FAR relief and the proofs that need to be established that this lot and its shortcomings can accommodate this FAR enhancement that's being proposed on this lot. And I think the board needs to give whatever value they need to give to that exhibit, with the understanding that several of those lots are not arguably objectively comparable.
So can I respond to that? This is a 75-foot wide lot, equal to mine. It is larger in square feet than mine, slightly larger. So it's the same width.
What's the lot number of 77 Midwood? You know? Because I don't see it on your radius list.
5. Lot 2006.
Lot 5 on your street is a 12,000 square foot lot.
Lot,
Attacked.
you gotta go to 2006, not 2005. It's this one here. 2008, I'm sorry.
You're on the far corner.
Yeah, this is my.
I got you. I see that one. I
That's
was thinking you cited the near corner as well.
Not this one. I didn't cite this one. That's a huge house. This house is right here. It's the same width as mine. And it's the same depth. And it's a larger house, square foot based on the tax assessment. This lot is 65 feet wide, so it's 10 feet narrower than mine. It's basically the same height probably, and it's
That's very much an outlier lot on your street. That one.
this one.
Yeah, it's the narrowest lot on the entire street.
Well, then there's 22. That one is 75 feet. It's on the same side as mine. These two are on the same side. That one is
Yeah, I'm just looking at the one you cited, the one on Midwood, that's lot 11, that's 12,000, it's more than 12,000. 1,
which one are you
2,
talking about?
3, Three on Homewood are larger. They're 12,000 square feet. You cited to lot 11. Which is 30 Midwood.
These are all 75 feet, 75 feet.
30 Midwood on the tax map shows it's larger than that. 30 Midwood on the tax map shows it's 120 by 135.
Yeah, this is 135. Oh, I didn't reference this one. These, this says 135. This lot's 135, but this architecturally looks like.
No, I'm just going by raw lot area right now.
Yeah, you could definitely pick other lots that are bigger houses. I was trying to pick lots that are equal width of mine. And then architecturally looks like mine. Across the street, it's a huge house. I didn't want to. I'm dwarfed by that. So there are houses that are large. Sorry?
That's a big lot.
It is a big house.
Yeah.
I know you gave a variance down Midwood last year. I think it was lot 2, 2000, lot 2008. Yeah, lot. It's another size lot, but they got a FAR variance, some other variances. It's a bigger lot, but it's bigger house. I was trying to show you homes that looked like mine and had a lot with people to them. I didn't want it. I didn't take pictures of the bigger houses. So in those other proofs that you talked about, I have proper setbacks. There's probably 30 feet distance from my house to the house to my left and to my right. I think that there's one picture floating around showing that. So there is light space between the homes. I'm not too close. If I was too close, that would be another issue. But
I'm not suggesting it's not, I'm just saying these are the proofs that can
Yeah,
be established to justify a floor area ratio variance.
Given the floor area ratio standard, is generally established to make sure that you don't overdevelop a lot, that it's not so much building the bulk, that you're not having a negative impact. From a bulk standpoint of the building and added to with what's in the area. In this particular case, the floor area ratio is small because it's a small lot, right? So that ratio is driven down based on the lot itself. I don't need to grant you need to have a small lot. I think the proof has to be what the proposing that doesn't meet that standard still works with the neighborhood, doesn't create negative impact on the surrounding properties and site facilities.
It's all relative. It's all relative. It's a massing inquiry, right? And because we're right down to the definition of floor area ratio, it's an inquiry as to your total area as compared to your lot area. It's, it's a like comparison. So comparing different size lots really doesn't help. And certainly comparing other applications that were granted, there's no, there's no precedent setting, that, but
yeah,
every case has to stand on its own merits, but
that's why I only used lots that were similar in width. And these houses have similar width lots and area, exact same area, and they're bigger houses than what I'm proposing based on the Texas.
But there's certainly, features and tools that applicants can utilize. Help make sure that it's not having those impacts, such as stormwater management and architectural features, architectural enhancements, break down the visual scale.
Which I think the porch does, and the skirt roof does, and I'll be glad to put it in see if it fits. It's not like a 2-story box and a big roof. There's a lot.
There's dimensions.
A lot of detail, a lot of.
I will say that one of the first thoughts that I have is also the water. I haven't said it.
Yeah, and. No,
But
particularly.
that's something, go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, particularly given the fact that you have, in this area, right, you have small lots, you have houses close to each other, they have downspouts, so it's for uncontrolled currently, so every opportunity that the board has when they're considering variances has historically taken that as an opportunity to try to address it for the benefit. So
I think it'll be a benefit to my neighbor because he's downhill. And then my spouts spill out, I get ice on my driveway, so I don't want to run into it. So we will have to put in fence.
And then that becomes one on site as builds.
Yeah, I mean, that'll involve. Yeah, selecting push down spouts. So that's. Side of the down spout, certainly makes sense. Constructing it.
And you can testify that you'll perform.
Yeah, we'll have an engineer do the calculations. Usually use the plastic one.
We have the chambers.
Maybe storm check chamber, and
That's not a problem.
Yeah, really, however, the applicant chooses to address an example. It's just a question. The calculation for them.
There was some landscape like that.
No, I mean, they're based on our visited those. It's very low amount of landscape. For any property. Nation. From what I heard, so it's
Yeah, it's. I think every piece of property now, either block litter or RV or three, all that gives them.
I have a question for you regarding the back setback from the house to the porch. Is there a mention that needs to be held?
I mean, technically, I think there's supposed to be a 10-foot separation.
Right.
That's a normal accessory structures. Sounds like it was a situation that he walked into the purchase the property. But that's a system in the code.
In the building code, if you're less than 5 feet, you have to do some fire stripping. So if there's a fire instructor, it goes, it jumps to the other side. Building department will have, we have usually use already planned for cement board. So the building code, typically zoning, buildings, two buildings very close to each other, would dictate how to keep fire safe. So we'd have to adhere to that. I think opening that screen porch helped. Going into the house is secondary. So really the distance is just the roof. Then the leaf is open.
how many square feet is that back porch that you created? About, I think you said 500.
172. The garage is 405.
Oh, about 500.
The two of them together. 600.
And the code compliance.
Actually, there's not many houses that look like mine. A lot of them look like this. They're 2-story. But I think they're really more similar to what's there. There's not many story, really one story piece.
Part of an efficiency. Anybody in the audience? All right. At this moment, I'm opening it up to members of the public, if there's anybody that wants to come up and discuss what you just heard. You guys just heard you kind of watch what's going on.
Exciting, nice for you guys.
Or either of you a planner, you can offer some testimony, maybe.
Bringing it back to the board, seeing that out, seeing no public, bringing it back to the board. Again, further discussion.
Mr. Schlick, it's up to you now if you would like to conclude prosecuting your case and ask the board to deliberate, if you would like to adjourn and come back when there's potentially more eligible members. This evening, you would, you heard their questions, you could probably read the room, whichever way you believe it to be. You would need to carry all 5 members to be approved. A 4-1 vote in your favor would be effectively a denial. So
Well, I think the spirit of tonight was present, but I would appreciate it if I could get comment back, if changes are needed. And as you heard, I can make these changes, agree with them tonight, but if there's something that someone hasn't spoken yet. Not allow lots of vote, I'd be years to listen to it, so it's, but but if there is no concerns, I would go to vote, but if there is concerns, I'd love to hear it, so I could revise the drawings for next month. But I haven't heard, I'm glad to do the things we talked about, if there's any additional items, I'd be glad to hear them and either agree to them tonight or. So that could.
Well, that's it. Okay, support, just heard, are there revisions that you want to see? But we always have this thing, if we want to see the final before we go. So is there anything that's sticking down?
I mean, I guess I would like to see the revisions so that it doesn't look like you're asking for 7 variances.
So let's push in the front yard. Step. I get rid of that. The back, by code, can't.
Back,
Right.
back really.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, but that was more of
No,
a
no,
fire
no,
safety
no,
thing and like,
Yeah.
their jurisdiction, not mine on that, yeah.
Yeah, second floor in fine, and I would get rid of that.
Or reduce the sleep over up in the fireplace. Personally. My opinion. I don't see that.
But are we actually voting on variances for the lot area and lot?
Yes,
We are.
I think you are. In this case, with FAR relief for an undersized lot, I think you are. Like I said at the beginning, my opinion is it's gray. It depends on what the relief is. FAR relief to expand a structure beyond the parameters allowed on the lot area of your size. I think you are exacerbating lot area issues, and then going along for the ride with that, obviously, is the lot width, which helps create that deficiency. While the delta is not changing on those 2 items, it's 9,000 existing and remaining, as leaves your lot width at 75 feet. I do think it ties into the FAR relief, and my recommendation to the board is that those are variance items that are on the table that cannot change.
No,
You can mitigate them, right? If your FAR went down, theoretically, it's mitigated by that same logic, but you can't eliminate those conditions.
yeah, the ones that are could be adjusted, the steps, the rear steps. Side, that wall, you want to kick it in 5 inches. That's for this. And that variance would go away. For those, the back variance wouldn't go away, it would just get, it'd be greater, it'd be less of the variance.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the back, could you
design
consider?
options? Sorry. Go ahead, finish.
I was just thinking about the back, with the platform. Could you go left and right instead of straight out?
Yeah, I'd probably just move the door over, right, as that, it's kind of weird, off to the side. There's any difference there.
There's no variance.
Good step.
Yeah.
Like if you're relocated. Here.
No, I mean, essentially, to come out the platform, you could go, really both of those, but left or right. And move directly straight out.
You still wouldn't get 10 feet away from the port. If you went,
No, you would. Your steps are really your issue, aren't they? Steps are, you've got 3 foot. So you're 2.9, you're very close. So if you eliminate the steps and you just build a platform, it could actually be a greater platform, let's say 42 inches, something like this. And then just go down both directions, even at the house.
so it's not-
That's about it.
You'd have to be 10 feet away from the port.
I'm addressing 2 foot, 2'9".
Oh, just making it less of a variance?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we could do that. I thought you were saying.
Yeah,
eliminate
that takes away the variance, and it does help that dimension to the 2.9. Takes away the variance, it's really.
How do you get to 10 feet? It's 2.9 now.
Oh, you're 49, you're 46.9, right?
Oh, the backyard.
Backyard,
I
yes, sir.
I was looking at this.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. Um,
Yeah, so if you move, so if you gain, if you were to move those steps or redo the steps or a platform or something, then if you're within that 46.9, it's like, they set there. You're still gonna have the situation where you're close to the garage or this porch area.
still gonna need like a 1 foot variance. Okay, I have to have a 3 foot landing. If I just did a landing and then went right or left. I need a landing, see how the landing sticks out a little bit? So I think that little piece would be a variance, I would need a foot. Because I can't make the landing less than 3 feet, that's code and the house is there.
Right.
Yeah, I'm so you can't build the house. Yeah, I don't think anybody's ever gonna see the steps of it. Up there, but
How many steps are there? A landing and how many steps?
two treads,
Three
three.
right
three-
and a landing,
Yeah, so I step from the house to the landing. And then
two
two
treads.
treads. Three, one.
Doesn't require a rail.
No, three,
Yeah.
no. 3 steps. One.
I think, to your point, anything that you could do to eliminate in spots, whether it's front porch, back, fireplace, to try to consolidate all these different variances such that they,
So let's push in the front steps. Let's push in the right wall. Push in the fireplace. Three variances. Might look a little weird, but I'll do it.
maybe you could push in the entire front porch, not in the front.
Yeah, I'll get rid of the.
There's a lot, I mean, there's a lot
I'll get
of.
rid of the front yard variance. I'll get rid of the side yard variance. Do you mind the fireplace sticking out? I can move it in a foot. Let it stick in the house a foot, out a foot. Or are you just looking to get rid of the variances altogether?
Well, speaking of fireplace, so you have the well, window well and a fireplace. What's happening there? Oh,
Yeah, it's a prefab fireplace. You can't leave it.
oh, it's cantilever.
Yeah,
Oh, it's not, okay, fine, got it,
you look at the elevations.
got it, done, understood.
Good here.
But I think, I think what the board. Spirit of what we're saying is, okay, you came in for, I've read, I think there's 12 variances in that column. 12 things fall down.
I'm speaking to all of the.
It's more than 7, I'll go through, I'll go through my list, right, I go through my list real quick. Pre-existing lot area, lot, we're not gonna go with pre-existing. Lot area deficiency, lot width deficiency, lot depth deficiency, front yard setback, side yard setback, rear yard setback, building coverage, gross building area, separation between structures, and floor area ratio. I have 10 on my list.
So I'm just reading, engineering report. So go ahead again, front yard.
Front yard, side yard, rear yard, building coverage, gross building area, FAR, separation between structures is relief, whether or not it's on that report. Then you have existing non-conforming conditions to remain, and I think the case law supports they're being exacerbated by the FAR relief, that being lot area deficiency, width and depth.
So front yard, rear yard, lot area, lot width, floor area ratio, gross building area, side yard. This is between principal buildings, so which one, which ones are missing?
Coverage. Building coverage.
Lot depth,
lot depth,
And
you're shy
you don't have,
in the area.
you don't have a lot of depth in the ordinance.
Looking at, I think,
It's,
your plan, which I think falls out of required, minimum requirement of 174 on your own, on the plan that you filed, variance plan you
yeah,
filed.
but that's not, it's in order to get 20,000 square feet, it's not an Allendale law.
I'm looking at your zoning schedule.
one.
Yeah, but it's not, that doesn't mean it's a variance, not in your ordinance. You
Well,
don't
the
have a lot.
required condition and a proposed condition, and then note that is downward adjustment on the proposed condition. It looks like a deviation. The plan should have been clearer perhaps. Because the plan that you filed shows a delta for proposed conditions being 54 feet shy of what is being called a quote required condition, which makes it a deviation. Not a variance, it's fine, but that's an issue for you and the scrivener of that plan.
Right.
Perhaps you
So,
should maybe then hear how far.
from that setback layer, the lot area, I can't do anything about, the lot width, I can't do anything about. The side yard setback, I'll pick in the wall if you wish, 5 inches. I'd like to leave the fireplace out a little bit, it's not a very big room, I think it's pushed in, it chews up the room. And I'll replace the back steps, but I'm still not gonna play code, I can't get rid of it. 100%, but I'll definitely increase the distance to the porch. So I can get rid of 2 and make two of them better. I can shrink the porch and make the building coverage less, but I think it looks,
The front door,
yeah.
which is 5'8" change or whatever.
So
But you know what?
that's the building.
If you're reducing the gross building area by that small percentage or, all of these things will,
Yeah, I'll do all this. I just don't wanna, I would like to know what I'm doing, so when I come back, I get.
Well, the board can't give, we're not straw polling the board. The board cannot give you an assurance how they would vote. I mean, the inquiry was,
Sure.
the inquiry was, what are your concerns? And you heard from a few members, it's the quantitative variance relief. And then the horse trading begins, and well, I can do this, I can't do that. That's completely up to you, Mr. Schlick, how you want to approach that. The board still vote however they want to vote when they see revised
No,
plans,
I'm
but
not asking.
yeah, that's the dialogue, that's all this is. It's helpful dialogue, should you not want to vote tonight. And consider what alternatives you might do to maybe mitigate relief further. It's completely at your own election.
I'm trying to be cooperative and take.
No, I understand.
And make these revisions without resistance and come back with a set of plans that you guys can see. And then make a judgment on your own. I'm not asking you to vote tonight, I'm asking you to be effective and fully communicate with what you're concerned with. I'm not asking you, are you voting yes or no?
I thought what you were going was, you don't want to make these changes, come back and hear the board still was elected.
Oh, no.
That's where I thought that last comment.
No,
was.
I
I had-
wanna
I
make
wanted
those
to-
changes you guys want. I've pretty much agreed to everything that everyone got, which would be fine.
I think at the end of the day, we're being instructed to focus on the gross, but it's, 28 versus 25. And that's probably the area that you're. Kind of, if the in council, this is the problem. Why it's a special.
I think the best thing could be take into consideration what you heard tonight. Back to us for the revised plan. Okay? And then maybe even be so bold to come back perhaps in the third one or third, whatever has to be done. To show us how you could get to conforming with the FAR. Because I think that's where the whole.
The FAR is the biggest item,
It's the
and
biggest
it
item.
all relates to that at some level. It's lesser houses, lower FAR.
How you solve the problems. Right.
So say, hey, listen, I can get to the FAR you guys are requiring. I might need a couple variances here and there, but I can get to that number.
Yeah, can't get to it.
You can't get to that number.
It's not worth it. Such a small number. It's like one side of. If you design a house by the numbers, it's gonna be very updated house. It's, believe me, I've tried. I don't want to be here attached to the parents. It's a very undersized lot, staying with the existing footprint. I can reduce it, but I can't get rid of it. I would have to sell the house. But I think the land and the property and the hardships that exist warrant some kind of relief. Maybe not the board of adjustment, but
Well, they're sitting as a board of, they're sitting as a board of
Oh,
adjustment
okay.
now. It's combined planning board. So this is,
Oh.
that's why.
That's why-
that's why I was- well, The hardship, again, I'll tell the board, my guidance is the hardship of the lot area deficiency is not a way to justify an FAR enhancement of a property. Again, going back to what Mike said, and I echoed it, it's all relative.
I'm not
Yeah, they are.
justifying it.
Yeah.
I'm not justifying that one. I'm justifying it and it's gonna fit into the streetscape. There's similar products out there, neighbors, 3 doors down that have the same lot width, same lot area, bigger houses. And I'm not increasing, the first floor footprint, I'm doing the work of management control. So all the things that, the variance required. Trying to explain, that's why I took these pictures, it's my logic here. So I'll take the comments, I think that's,
That's, in my opinion, the plan of action. And I'm gonna ask council to chime in here one more time, but I think the best thing you can do is to what we're being hung up on is the FAR, so you might not be able to get to what it could be, but what can you do to get closer? Okay, and you may come in here with something, we're all like, all right, you know what? No, this doesn't look good. We'll do this, we'll do that, or whatever's required, but I think we need to see what I'll use under an umbrella of an alternate plan that brings us closer to the point.
definitely did multi-plan, what they could talk about, and reducing it, but are you want better tonight?
Well, if you don't think that you can get to the farming FAR, because that's where I was going with my third plan. I mean, if it's your testimony as a professional saying, hey, listen, I can't get to this,
Have to chop.
it's gonna
part
be
of
stupid.
it.
Okay,
To make a usable house, I have to chop.
it's
that
not going to
beach
work.
Yeah, it's unfortunately it's there. I have to put it in place. It's another thing that it's not self-created variance, somebody else will put out.
Understand?
I think the only point about the third plan is not that you should be bringing one, it's that make the most efficient use of your time, I think. So if you're coming back and you say, well, what about this? Backpocket plan sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, but it's up to you, how you wanna skin the cat on this. It's really up to you.
I'm gonna do everything we talked about. but- So I'll just only have to talk to.
This is just me not knowing, does that L-shaped garage, does that unit counts towards the FAR? Do you need that middle,
That piece, that extra.
whatever, that idle dead space?
It's gonna connect to the porch of this block.
Right, so so aside from
I
that,
still need.
but you would at least take the FAR down by that block of property that's not really usable. I have no idea what's in there. You kind of described it as, I park my cars here, there's like this cubby area, and now you've got your 4 seasons room or 3 seasons room, but like, is that, if you have to fit something into an FAR number, is that something that you could sacrifice?
Good point, because FAR comes down to massing as well, right? So even though the principal structure, say the house is modest, fits in, you've got a large secondary structure. It's all part of your FAR calculations. Again, it's up to you what to consider, but I think that's a very good point. It directly ties into the P4 release.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know if that piece that you built on, that can be attached to the
That
garage.
was there. It was a screen porch.
Right, but
That
I'm saying
wasn't
if you take the middle piece out, can you take what you just built and attach it to where you park your car?
Oh, it's
The L, like, yeah, can you take the elbow out and bring the screen porch over there? Or that porch over there, because then that takes out the stair issue also. Because that'll move that all over.
Oh, I can't.
You can't, okay.
No. Footings down.
It's a footage of what it's cemented in. Yeah.
If you're not happy with the numbers in the second floor, I just have to sell the house. I can't say it. I understand. That's why I took the screen porch and made it.
Yeah.
Oh, porch, that reduced the FAR by 172 square feet. And that little elbow is not even here.
Okay.
I'll tell you when we're.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your time. When is the next hearing?
April 22nd. Consent to continue.
You won't have to notice, Mr. Schleich, but I will be announcing to the public that this is an hour, we're not going to notice to the April 22nd public hearing. If you do want to submit anything 10 days ahead,
Yeah.
notice this for the hearing date, and send them in. Send them in digitally as well, addition of paper copies, for everybody should be with them.
Um. So Linda, the next meeting, I'm sorry, next meeting is 4/22.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you for your time and we'll see you in a month. All right, thank you. Okay. All right, next on our agenda is opening to the public to comment. Seeing none, I bring it back to the board. Any other issues, comments, questions, Mayor? I'd like to turn it over to you for a few moments if I could.
I just wanted to, I don't know if I can talk though.
You take a day off.
I don't think I can speak. Sorry. Does anybody, I could show you my email, but I'm gonna write about fair share housing. That's really what I wanted to update on everybody. Yeah. It's actually too long. I'll try to speak. So we actually did satisfy our fourth round housing. We had a really good deal. We had 200, our obligation was 200 affordable. And then our RDP, our realistic development potential was 4. Using the ratio, that would mean you'd have to build about 20 units in Allendale because the developer is not gonna build just affordable housing to make a profit. So we would have to find some type of space to build 20 units. And 20 units doesn't sound like a lot, but if you look at like Park and Ivy, that's pretty substantial, and that's only 5 units. Excuse me. So what we did to satisfy that was to extend some deed restrictions. So we had an issue with this one unit, 98 Elm, and kept on coming up on the radar, and I'm like, I know that's an affordable unit. So then we did like a deep dive into all our existing affordable units, and their deed extensions were going to expire within that 10-year period, the next decade. So we went in and we actually extended all the deed restrictions. So we actually don't have to build anything in this fourth round. And that was a little bit of a problem because we actually did not build any of our unmet need in the third round, and that was kind of being used against us. So to show good faith that you are going to build the unmet need, so the number was 200. We have 4 as our realistic development potential. We have to show good faith that 196, we're going to have to try to build somewhere. So they were actually looking at a piece of property in Carteret. They were looking at some other Trinity Church, and they're also looking at our downtown. And downtown, they were really pushing to extend the height to 3 or 4 stories on our downtown. And they were like adamant about that. They're making us go back. So we had like 3 hearings going back and forth. In the middle of all this, you're facing challenges with Saddle River, because Saddle River's building has all their unmet need on Berline Road on our, basically, in my opinion, it's in Allendale. They don't have any infrastructure. If you know Saddle River, it's all septics and it's all wells. So they needed us. So our planner was calling them like paper plans because they had no infrastructure to support them. But the Avalon Bay one, which is the big one, that's 275 units. Fair Share Housing really wanted this. They even told us the leadership of Fair Share Housing got involved. we had a little bit of leverage, because what happened in the middle of all this, Avalon Bay took us to court. And the judge, it was called a case management hearing, where you're not supposed to make decisions. The judge ordered me to sign a TWA, which is like the permit in this case management. So that's pretty much unheard of in the legal world, right?
Agreed, yeah.
So, so this judge did that. So we signed under protest and we appealed right away. So that actually had a lot of leverage with Avalon Bay. So because they probably knew if we took this, it might have cost, it would have been like 2 years down the road, but they would have probably lost. And I think they knew that. So we kind of had that leverage. So what we did then is we said that we would allow them to use our sewer. We did the feasibility study, so we knew it was okay. Proof right there, Mike can tell you. And we moved our downtown overlay zone to Berline Road also. So we also had existing units there that were for our unmet need from the last round. We just increased the density. So we pushed it out of our downtown. We let Avalon Bay use our sewer. We don't have to build anything this round. And then we also did a side deal with Avalon Bay and got $500,000, which was really nice. Our planner at the time, our planner said that we do have like one of the better deals in all of the area, just because we don't have to build anything right now. And the $500,000, which is funny, all of a sudden now Saddle River wants some of the $500,000. So we're like, well, you could have, it's a two-party deal, solid. And they want to use some of that for the liner project. So with the sewer that we're using in Saddle River, there has to be a liner put in it just to protect it, because there's some I inflow and infiltration. But that's all in Saddle River. So they're trying to use our $5,000 to try to pay for that. But that's a battle for another day. But we're all buttoned up. We have all our ordinances. We have the final one today. Yeah, I think we're in really good shape. So really proud of that.
Great.
Yeah, so I have a 2-page memo going out for the residents to kind of understand it, because it's just so hard to explain, and this has been going on for so long. One of the pillars of our success is that we assembled a team of experts really early on, like a year before, kind of anticipating this. We did that hazard vulnerability study, if you remember, and we did we redid our master plan, and that hazard vulnerability study actually helped us with our downtown, because the flood zone kind of changed a little bit and it went into a lot of our downtown. So that was kind of one of the reasons we could push it out too. And also, we talked about traffic, and it's just tiny. Our downtown's tiny. I mean, the way that the parking is anyway, a lot of times you have to go into the other lane just to go by. So it would have been an absolute disaster. But Fair Share Housing Center is an advocacy group. They're not elected officials. They were directed by the DCA to oversee this. They have veto power. They have so much power. And at one point with the sewers, for example, so where their 2 other projects are is the Rosie O'Donnell in Saddle River, the Rosie O'Donnell property, which is right next to Wandell School. Then there's 2 more Toll Brother. Oh, that's a Toll Brother project. Another Toll Brother project in Algonquin, which is coming down the hill going to Saddle River. And then the Avalon Bay, which is in Saddle River. So there's another way to go, like down West Saddle River Road to the Waldwick exchange. We offered that to them. Everybody was like, oh my God, this is a great idea. They literally were like mad at us. Like they're like, how dare you? So it was clear that they wanted Avalon Bay. The leaders of the Fair Share Housing came and they even said, we want Avalon Bay. So we knew early on that we were not going to be able to, we were going to have to use them, let them use our sewer. So we held off as far as we can. We were lucky that we got the $500,000. And at the end of the day, we did have the capacity, and they're paying for the liner. And our deal is with Saddle River, not Avalon Bay, which is one thing that we stipulated. We did not want to have any deals with the developers, only with the municipality. And they were trying to push that the whole time too. And we were like steadfast. We're like, we're only dealing with Saddle River. Developer in 20 years could be gone, Yeah. So yeah, so we're really excited about that. And a lot of other towns are still really suffering, and Montvale's getting killed. Because he's the one that started that whole coalition, which we joined, but it made it all the way to the Supreme Court.
And all the KPMG property now.
Yes,
There's so much after.
About the data center.
The data center, yeah, but they want housing.
KPMG, also BMW.
Yeah.
BMW is something like 400 up there.
Yeah.
So that's a lot. That whole area is really gonna be. So anyway, that's that. I also just want to say congrats to Joanne, who is our new secretary, and congratulations to Linda on your retirement.
Thank you.
So. Anybody have any questions? Now that my voice is back.
That's the one's the retirement party.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, what's the retirement?
next week we'll fill it.
Yeah.
I know.
No questions,
I-
just comment, well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, no, we're really excited about it. So
Excellent.
Yeah.
I
it
know.
was, Mike is a big part of it as well. And
He's been
for other
fighting.
experts.
So,
Oh, we only
Mike,
have a small piece.
Mike Casal, he's the mayor.
You guys, hold on.
It was a good strategy. No, it was a good strategy. We had a good team for Thor. We had we hired a fair share housing lawyer. That just does that. We knew all the ins and outs, we knew how they thought, we knew,
We were trying to.
so that was really helpful.
I don't know.
What's the irreparable harm if you didn't sign the TWA?
And they're gonna show us from both. Surprise park.
We get everything married up, or fair share wanted, and like March test, I mean, what was the?
He was, supposedly he took a very simplistic approach and you said, do you have capacity or do you not have capacity? Well, like, we're not even done with, the study yet. So he kind of was blindsided, our attorney Ray, that's what Ray said, he was just kind of blindsided and just. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's wild.
It was, and it's funny because the fair share housing judge, we had a different judge, and he said the same things, like, what, like, I've never even heard of that before. How's that? But in the long run, it actually was good leverage for us, because, when we saw the writing on the wall that Avalon Bay was gonna get their way. And that was part of the deal, that we had to release the appeal. Because if we were to take, it would have been so much expensive anyway to take that appeal all the way, but I think they probably knew what they would have lost. Yeah, it was just a lot of back and forth, a lot of up and down, but I think that's. So, but if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to me.
Is there
I can answer any questions.
anybody on that?
Well, go, right, before we go, so if we move into any comments that needs to be discussed.
The borough is looking to acquire 274 West Allendale Ave, the Turner property. The one across from Crestwood. So in the process of that, I'm talking with the owner and looking into grants as well.
Corner property.
So 40.
All boarded up.
Let's point it out, yeah.
It's all boarded.
So
And here's what's the thoughts?
the thought, good question. The thought would just be to take the house down because that is a big flooding area.
Yes.
And almost just make it kind of like a bog for the, just plant put a path through it and just plant like trees that like absorb water and just make it open space. So just like a little path from like the grandstand to Crestwood and keep it as open space. Yeah, I'm excited about that actually. And we have a very good chance of getting that 85% of the acquisition cost from the count. And our timing is perfect, so. Fingers crossed. Anybody have any other questions about the borough? What's going on? Our budget's looking really good.
I know you're still doing, I know you're still dealing with the authority.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk
No,
yet.
we're not gonna talk about that, but I think you've been doing a wonderful job.
Oh, Guardian Angel, I
If
thought
you
you were
guys
talking about
don't
the other
go-
church.
If you guys don't go to the town halls, right, the town halls.
Yeah, I know.
That the mayor's holding, they're super informative.
Nobody likes to
super-
look to council meetings, so.
I'm sorry, yeah, that's the other one. And
No,
it's a
nobody,
very,
I
nobody
talk to
goes,
chairs like
yeah.
this.
they're super informative. It's informative and informal. Okay, and it's a wealth of knowledge, or it's a wealth of hearing what's going on in just a different, more comfortable form instead of having, coming in here, as the mayor just said, and talking in front of the council. People can get intimidated by that.
But as far as Guardian Angel, the Cardinal actually did come and say he's putting up costs on the whole we are with this thing anyway. And Allendale's made a pretty big stink that I think I'm very comfortable that nothing's gonna happen to Guardian Angel.
Very good. All right, thank you. And Linda, again, how long have you doing it?
Sorry,
How long have you been with this board?
7 years,
Been-
almost 8 years.
But it's an interesting 70 years, especially putting up with me. So thank you very much for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you. Your accessibility and everything. So
Thank you.
best wishes in moving on. Chilling out, doing whatever you got to do in retirement. So
Thanks.
thank you, thank you. So, all right, anybody else have any comments, questions? Okay, seeing none, motion to adjourn. Thank you. Second, thank you. All in favor? Thank you. All right, I'll see you guys, the 22nd.